And welcome to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I'm your host, Noah Love, and today we will be talking about everything NFL Week 10. A great weekend of football here in the NFL, thrilling finishes, historic running performances. We also had a couple of dud games, had some teams on some buys. Week 10 is in the books. Hopefully this will get up before the college football playoffs selection committee releases their second rankings. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. Look, Denver in Las Vegas on Thursday night. That game happened. It was 10-7. We're gonna go over it briefly here. There's not much to say. I don't trust Denver in a playoff game. I don't. They may win the AFC West. That really depends. Look, they play the Chiefs and I don't trust them. That offense against that Raiders defense. I mean, it was a hideous game from both teams. Look, that defense is real. That's a championship defense. And if Denver fans lose in the playoffs because of that offense, they're gonna be sick. Because that defense is championship level. That's probably the best defense in all pro football. But from they're doing this without Surtain, by the way. Vance Joseph has this defense absolutely clicking, mainly the front seven as well. But if you don't at least get to the AFC title game, or if you're not in the Super Bowl, it's the offense. Because defensively, you match up well with anybody. Because you have corner second cover, you have very good linebackers that can come up and read. They can also play coverage, and then you have run stoppers in the middle, and then Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito get after you. I don't trust Denver, though. Vegas, you're 2-7. I don't have much to say. We'll once the off season rolls around, we'll talk about your situation a little bit and see where you go. Ashton, I mean, that line's bad. Look, Vegas, honestly, if you were a better coach team, you would have won this game. That just comes down to it. That's kind of what it is. Now, let's get into the Sunday slate. We'll go in chronological order here. Let's start in Berlin, Germany, where the Colts beat the Falcons to go to 8-2 and stay at the number one seed in the AFC. The Colts find a way to beat the Falcons 31-25. This was an amazing game, one of the best international games you'll see. Jonathan Taylor puts the team on his back. 32 carries, 244 yards, and 3 touchdowns. MVP level performance. The Colts ran for over 300. 323 yards is exactly what they ran for in this football game. This game had it all. Atlanta, another heartbreaker for them. Look, they're 3-6 right now, and they don't have their first round pick this season. Atlanta, you lose last week to the Patriots on the road in just brutal fashion, missing a kick. It's a brutal loss. And then you lose in overtime. Yes, this game went to overtime. In heartbreak fashion. Look, the Colts, good teams found a way to win, and they did. The offense in the first quarter, I thought for the Colts was clicking. On the first drive, they moved it. They got stopped, but they were moving it. Then, obviously, the Cam Bynum strip sack happened, which was a big play. Then 2 plays later, it's a touchdown. I thought Shane left like 11 points on the board, and they were just chasing points the entire game. I think that's something he needs to clean up as well. This game, look, Atlanta talent, they got some studs. Jalen Walker was getting after people. He was getting after them. The edge rushers for Atlanta were great. That Atlanta defense very well improved. very much improved from last season. But it doesn't matter because their head coach, who we will get to in a second, is horrendous. It's bad. It's bad in Atlanta. It's bad. Again, I don't know what more you can say about Jonathan Taylor. I feel like he's the MVP of the league right now. I know Stafford's right there. I know May's right there. I do feel like Jonathan Taylor. The Colts are 8-2, and he is the engine behind that. And this is his fourth game with 3 touchdowns. Fourth. He's been insane. I want to take y'all to the end of the game because it's 25-22. This is after the Jonathan Taylor big run, and then Atlanta goes down, gets a touchdown and 2-point conversion. I want to take you guys to, obviously, special teams for the Colts deserve a game ball, send them big. But then it gets it back. It's 3rd and 21. Jones looking to throw it deep. He steps up, nothing's there. He runs, and he runs for 19 yards, gets hit out of bounds. That happens. Gets hit out of bounds, and it's now 4th and 2. To me, that was the play of the game right there because that put them in position for the 4th and 2 to Tyler Warren. Kind of a redemption catch. Great hands there to catch it. And they got in field goal range and they kick it to go to the 4. Now, they kick it. It's 4th down. So they're trying to rush people onto the field. They have no timeouts. It's like a scramble drill. Raheem Morris calls timeout. Why? The Colts are scrambling, having to get guys on the field. You never know. You can have too many men on the field. You don't know. And you call timeout. Raheem Morris, why are you calling timeout there? I do not understand why he calls timeout there. Could somebody please explain to me how you call timeout? I don't know. I genuinely don't know how you call timeout there. That's a brutal one. And then we get into overtime. They don't use Bijan. They actually get an extra set of downs because they get bailed out on some bogus OPI. Mooney runs into Mekhi Blackman, but it's a PI on Blackman somehow for illegal I got nothing there. And then obviously Lou, I thought, did a great job in this. They get the stop. Colts go down, and Taylor runs it in for the touchdown. Jones had a big throw to Warren again, of course, on that drive. I really thought I thought in this game Lou Anarumo did a great job. I thought he did a fantastic job, if I'm just being honest. In terms of his blitzes. And what he was showing now, he played a little bit too much zone for me. Maybe that's because he felt like he didn't have he wanted to wait till Charvarius Ward. I believe when Charvarius Ward gets back to play more man, you trade for Sauce, and you saw it on the one play against Drake London where it's a blitz, and look, Sauce, that's a pick, man. Gotta catch that. But it's a good play, read it well. You can tell, they're gonna be more comfortable blitzing from his side. He shadowed Drake London most of the day. When it was man-to-man coverage, I thought outside of that 1-2 point conversion play where he slipped, he did really well. Again, playing zone on Drake London. Again, Atlanta, it was Drake London the entire day. The issue with Atlanta, the play calling, Zach Robinson, I got none. Bijan only touches the ball 17 times. Look, they split with him and Algier. And I like Algier, but Bijan should be getting 25 touches a game. Let's just be honest about it. He's the best player on their team. Penix wasn't really the most efficient. Yes, he had the one turnover yesterday where he doesn't see him on the Cam Bynum strip. But Atlanta has some crucial drops. Mooney, they get in on the fourth quarter. They're trying to at least get in the field goal range. Again, drop. Early in the game, Mooney, excuse me. Pitt, just a drop. Just a drop. He just drops it. So yeah, I feel like when the Colts offense was kind of struggling, the defense really stepped it up and really played very well. I thought Zaire Franklin had a good game. They need Buckner back immediately because you could just see it in the middle. And on third down, both teams were bad. 2 of 12 and 0 of 8. Like, my goodness. But I will give the Colts credit when they needed to get it on third down. They did 519 yards to 290. 7 yards per play for the Colts. That's insane. They were able to move the ball, but look, the Colts win and they go into the bye. And when they come out of the bye, you know what time it is. It is the Chiefs game. Coming out of the bye. Colts, they'll get home, they'll rest, and then they'll get ready to go for that one. But big time win for the Colts. Falcons, you really could be a 5-4 football team, still kind of in it, but you're not because your kicker cost you this game and then your coach cost you this one. All right, let's go now to we'll talk about this briefly. Jets and the Browns. Jets beat the Browns. Jets had a kick return and a punt return touchdown. Look, the Jets should feel good. They're winning 2 in a row for Aaron Glenn. It looks like the players are still bought in, building a culture. Jets, people talking about 0-17, fire everybody. Now they've won 2 games. No Sauce, no Quinnen, no problem for this game. The Browns, look, Stefanski won't play Shador. I'm just not talking about the Browns because we know what the situation is. You have a quarterback that's getting paid not to play because he's injured. We have Dylan Gabriel in there who is limited. We know he is. We have some good rookies. We have some good talent. We have a good defense, a playoff level defense is what we have. We have playoff level defense here, but because we don't have an offense and a quarterback, we stink. And our head coach is going to get fired, and at this point, rightfully so. At this point. So yeah, that's enough of that. Let's get to it. Speaking of fired, the game that got the Giants head coach Brian Daboll fired. Yes, Brian Daboll was fired on Monday morning after this debacle. 24-20, the Bears. They did the cardiac fourth quarter. Kids do it again. They do it again. The Bears take down the Giants in a thriller. And the Giants are 2-8, 0-6 on the road. Ben Johnson, they got a real coaching staff in here. A lot of people will say, look at who they beat, da-da-da-da-da. I don't really care about that. You know why? Because the Bears of last year will lost some of these games. They're 6-3. They're second in the North. They have a real shot to go win this thing. Now their schedule about to get way tougher. Obviously, we all know that. But look, it's a great win. It's a great win. Being down 10 with like 6 minutes to play and they come back and win it because of course they do. That's a great win. Again, they've won 6 out of their last 7 after starting 0-2. Yes, they've been a lot of bad teams in this. But you're finding ways to win. Last year, the Bears did not do that. Joe Davis and Greg Olsen talked about it on the broadcast that these two teams, there's not much separation, but by the record it is, it's because the Bears are finding ways to win and the Giants are finding ways to lose. The Giants should not have the same record as the Saints. Let's just be honest about it. They fired Dable, but they're keeping Joe Shane. I look, I know why he's doing it, probably because of he feels the talent level. Because look, in terms of their talent level, defensively and offensively, they're fine. Look, the game, there are games you should have won this game. You should have won at Dallas when Russ was in the lineup. You should have won at Denver. So that's 3 games you just blew. And then honestly, that Saints game, because you have 5 turnovers. But that one's not really your fault. It's a team with a lot of talent, but they're 2-8 because they can't finish, and they just find ways to lose. It's as simple as that. They're finding ways to lose. The Bears are finding ways to win. I thought Caleb late in the fourth quarter was spectacular. He ran it in. Also, Jackson Dart gets injured. He's getting checked for his 4th concussion. He had 2 rushing touchdowns in the game. Dart has played very well this season, and I think that might have been the cherry on top of the cake. They're just like, no. And so they fired Dable. And Matt Verderam tweeted if the Bears win this game, Dable should be fired in the tunnel. Wasn't quite in the tunnel, but he got fired. I mean, yeah, look, I put in my notes, I said Caleb Williams played great in the 4th. I said Dable needs to go because another year down the drain. And it's another year where they're like painfully bad. Last year, I think, was worse because they weren't even competitive. This year, it's agonizing because they are a talented football team. I believe in certain areas. I think they're way more talented than last year, and they're probably going to have the same record or maybe a win or 2 more. Because they're not winning 7 straight to like be 9-8. If Kafka pulls that off, you might need to give him a job. But that's not happening. It's a great win for Chicago. Now they have the Vikings this week, division game. So we will see. We'll get to the Vikings in a minute. Let's go here to Carolina. New Orleans stuns Carolina 17-7. Let's just talk about it. Tyler Shook. Great performance by Shook. It's only game 2 for him, and I'm already like what I'm seeing. 19 of 27, 282, 2 touchdowns. I thought he played really well. I thought Shook's got some ability. Look, I know he's 25, coming off the ACL. If you watched him at Louisville, you saw he has some ability. He was able to unlock Olave. Olave's had 5 catches for 104 and a touchdown. Jawan Johnson, 4 for 92 and a touchdown. To me, the story of the game was the defense. Somebody finally was able to lock up Rico Dowdle. And when they did that and they forced Bryce to throw, it didn't go well. But it did not go well. And Carolina's playoff hopes that I guess that they had, or their push that they were doing. In terms of the schedule, I still believe it's manageable, but man, that's a tough loss. You're at Atlanta, at San Fran, then you've got the Rams at home. Just after the Atlanta game, yikes. And you have at New Orleans again. Then you finish with Bucks, Seahawks, Bucks. It's not looking too good. It's not looking too good. And especially in the NFC where the 7 seeds like 6-3 or 6-4. Yeah, It's going to be tough. But shout out to the Saints, man. Brandon Staley and company really, really played some good. They really were able. They put about 8 guys in the box, and they said, you know what, Bryce beat us, and they couldn't do it. Stack the box, and they couldn't do it. Let's stay. Let's go to South Beach, where we have another upset. Staying with the upsets. Miami controls and dominates the Bills 30-13. Let's just talk about it. Let's just be honest about it. This was a disaster. Bills, this would be the worst loss of the weekend in terms of NFL, but there's another team we'll get to that had a worse loss than this. But this is a disgrace. You didn't even show up, bro. I don't want to hear the trap game nonsense. I don't want to hear it. Second in your division. You know New England's winning. You know you have to keep winning until you play them again. You don't play them for a couple weeks. You play them, I think, in mid-December. In terms of the AFC East, you know that you've lost your stranglehold on it. But you're coming off, 2 big wins. You blow out the Panthers, and then you beat the Chiefs at home. Great. And then you come out here on the road at Miami, and you lay a stinker. This game, Miami dominated from start to finish. Achane had 174 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. He also has 6 catches for 51 yards. He was incredible. Tua threw 2 picks and they still won the game by 3 scores. I want to start the Miami thing of this because props to Miami. In a season where everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. Tua throwing picks, locker room drama, GMs getting fired. You've managed to stay with it. Blowing games late, losing close games at Carolina, at Buffalo, at home against the Chargers. You're losing these close games. And can Miami, can McDaniel right the ship here? Their next 3, Commanders, in, I don't even know where that game's, overseas. Then it's a bye. Then it's Saints coming out the bye. Then after that, it's at Jets. You could be 6-7 going in there. And then at that point, things get interesting. Look, I'm not saying they're going to make a playoff push or anything. But the Dolphins, look, they're using Achane well. I think McDaniel's play calling since week 1 has gotten a lot better. Look, Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator, that team flew around. That team has had no quit. There's no quit in it. Props to Miami, seriously, for just keeping. Props to Miami, man, for just keeping going, keeping alive. You're 2-7 coming into the game. Everybody's like, Buffalo's gonna win by a couple scores. They're gonna blow out Miami. Miami's tanking, and Miami says, nah, we're just gonna keep playing. We're not giving up. Props to Miami, man, for real. Real props. That's where the pleasantries in Buffalo. That is as disgraceful of a. I'll say it is disaster. It's a disaster. The only reason you're not the biggest loser of the weekend is because we had another disaster that was a little bit worse than you. Disaster. It was a comedy of errors. Josh Allen had a red zone pick. The Bills had 3 turnovers. Basically, what the Dolphins were able to do was They took Kincaid out the game. I think Buffalo went away from James Cook too quickly. Joe Brady, it wasn't your finest day, and now you're 6-3 with Tampa Bay on the horizon because that game's next week, and Tampa Bay's going to be looking to get back on track as well. Because, and we'll get to them this. Like, I don't know, Buffalo. The Patriots have a great chance to win that division now. Just even if they still a great chance. It was a comedy of errors. Your offense was putrid. Your defense wasn't. I know it's going to give. Their defense was always on the field. Their defense actually throughout the game was not that bad. I don't think it was that bad. Yes, I know Agent had a couple big runs. I truly do not believe. I believe the back end played very well. I don't think. I truly do not believe the defense was that bad. I think offensively, bulk of the blame. Allen, bulk of the blame. They said in a post game presser, I think it was Josh Allen, Deion Dawkins, we didn't play hard enough. What? What? Sorry, I had to. What? We didn't play hard enough. It is November. We're 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. It's getting real. You're in the middle of a division push to get home playoff. You're trying to push for the 1 seed. Because there's 3 teams with 2 losses there, and then the Chargers are a game back as well of Denver. So you're trying to push for that. That push is dead. Done now. And that's not because you got out executed. I can live with it. You got out executed. You got executed, but I can live with that because we didn't play hard enough. Yeah, I got nothing. What do you want me to say, America? I have nothing. Speaking of the AFCs, let's go to here. The best game of the early window. New England, 8-2. They beat the Bucks to push the Bucks down to 6-3, 28-23. I thought when the Bucks went down to start the game, I was going to be like, oh, New England may struggle a little bit today. They went right down the field in like 6 plays, touchdown. And then after that, it was a little bit of a tug of war. A little bit of a struggle. I thought Maeve played well in this game. I thought the MVP of this game was Travion Henderson. Those 2 big runs to seal it. You had the one early in the third, and then the one late. 14 carries, 147, 2 touchdowns. I don't know why they haven't been using him more. If you watch college football like I watch college football, you will know at Ohio State, speedster. He showed it in a preseason. I don't know why Stevenson was getting a bulk of the carries. I'm just going to be honest with you. He brings you that dynamic where if he sees a hole, he's gone. Because he can hit that second gear so fast. Vrabel, this is an outstanding coaching job. To have this team at 8-2, they play hard and they're playing well. They are very well coached on special teams, on offense and defensively. Tampa just didn't do enough of the little things right. They had too many mistakes. Made through a red zone interception. He'll learn from that. Look, in terms of Tampa Bay, they just got to get healthy. They're beat up. Let's just be honest about it. Abuka was there. He played great. Abuka's been great this season, but there's no Mike Evans. There's no Godwin. They're just beat up right now. So that's why they're kind of stumbling a little bit, which again, Carolina, this would be the perfect time. Tampa's kind of stumbling here. Carolina is the perfect time to potentially go and get them. Look, this next game between Buffalo, they're both 6-3. They're now Buffalo's coming off of a bad loss. This isn't really a bad loss because I do think Tampa played hard. They just got out executed. I think that's really what it came down to when it came down to the criticals before the half, the touchdown. I do feel like they just got out executed. Like that's just in my opinion how I feel. They have a stretch coming up, Carolina, of at Bills, at Rams, where they could drop both of those. But then the schedule at the end of the year, my goodness, just wow. It's Cards, Saints, Falcons, all at home, on the road at Panthers, at Dolphins, Panthers again. So look, the Bucks are gonna be fine because to end the year, they should rattle off like 6 straight, at least 5 or 6 there. Now, will they lose both games to the Bills? I don't know. Look, I fully expect the Bucks offense to torch that Bills defense. Look, no Ed Oliver in the middle. In the back end, I still have some questions, but I feel like they did play better against Miami. But yeah, Tampa will be fine. New England is great, Vrabel. And look, the New England, because of the schedule, they're probably the favorite to get the number 1 seed. I mean, it's Jets, it's at Bengals, it's the Giants. Then, okay, you have a stretch of Bills and Ravens in back-to-back weeks. So they may finish 13-4, and that'll be enough. It really depends. Again, if Indy has this schedule coming up, tough schedule, and they keep winning, that would concern me because I'd be like, oh my goodness, they have this gauntlet and they're showing they're a legit team. So yeah, look, the Patriots, they have the Jets on Thursday night. They should win that. The Patriots winning, they have a very, very, very good chance here at becoming at winning the AFC East and having a playoff game. Props to me. Coach of the year is between three dudes at the moment, maybe 4. Maybe if you want to add Mike McDonald in there, but to me, it's between Steichen, Vrabel, Ben Johnson. Those 3 right now. So yeah, props to Vrabel. Very good win. Let's go to Minnesota, where Baltimore beats Minnesota 27-19. J.J. McCarthy did not have a very good game. The 2 interceptions. Look, the 8 false starts is just unacceptable. I don't know how you have that. Genuinely, at home, 8 false starts? Bruh. Really? Baltimore did a good job of really taking Jefferson out of the game. 12 targets and he only had 4 catches. His longest catch was 11 yards. Look, Naylor killed him, but I think they took Hawkinson out. Hawkinson didn't do anything. They took Jefferson out and they took Addison out. And they said, okay, somebody else beat us. And Naylor had a fine game, but you're okay with that. I don't think Minnesota ran the ball enough. In this game, what was crucial was when you get 4 takeaways. I think 1 by the special teams as well. Might have been 3. Get 3 takeaways. And then you don't turn it over. That means you got 3 extra possessions. Most games you're going to win. Most games you are going to win. Look, I thought offensively they played fine. They were okay. I thought they were better in the criticals in terms of third down. Look, in the NFL, all these games, we're in November. All these games gonna be tight, and so it's gonna come down to what do you do in the criticals. If you're Minnesota, you lose the turnover battle. You have 13 penalties. You're worse on third down. You can't have that at home. At home, that can't. You have your special teams got outplayed. You can't have that if you're Minnesota. Baltimore not only was more disciplined, they out executed you. And that's a recipe for success. Let's talk about Baltimore. 1-5. People kind of left them for dead. They've righted the ship. They've won 3 in a row. They play the Browns next week. Most likely will win that to go to 5-5, and now the season is back on. They're a game back of the AFC 7 seed. They're a game back of the AFC North, and they still haven't played Pittsburgh yet. Their first matchup is on December 7th at home. Baltimore's looks like they're about to walk you down. They're walking Pittsburgh down. We'll get to Pittsburgh later. Look, Baltimore's playing really well, mainly the defense. And if the defense has figured it out, that's scary. Because we know on any given day Lamar can go crazy. And we know on any given day Henry can go crazy. So yeah, right now the past 3 games are playing complementary football. They're playing complementary football. And they're finding a way to win. Finding ways to win. 3 in a row after Lamar gets back. Looks like they're going to find a way maybe to win this division. That's a big yesterday, Sunday, very good win for Baltimore. Now, let's get to this absolutely disaster that happened in Houston. The Jags, let me take a sip of this Gatorade because this disaster. Disaster. The Jags. Up 29-10. They blew it. There's no other way about it. They blew this game. 29-10 is what they were up in this football game. And they blew it all in the fourth quarter. They did their best Giants impression. Davis Mills goes 27 for 45, 292, 2 touchdowns. 1 on the ground as well, including the game-winning one. And Houston essentially saves their season, and they're now a game back at the 7th seed, 36-29. This is a culture win. That's what it is. It's a culture win. It was a culture win. Look, I felt like early in the game, Jacksonville was spotting them, or Houston's special team has spotted them some points. I thought, and that's why Jacksonville got out to an early lead. And look, it was 29-10 walking into the fourth. I'm saying, and then they score a touchdown. I'm saying, okay, they have a chance here. The defense can get a stop. I trust that defense. They got to stop. They get the ball back. They score again. And now it's 29-24. And I'm thinking to myself, it's happening. This collapse is going to happen. Another stop. Then they go, I think they went 90 yards. Like 90 yards. Again, a bunch of false starts in the game. And Davis Mills runs it in for a touchdown. Late in the game. Wow, what a comeback. Look, I believe the deciding factor in this game was the pass rush. Danielle Hunter had a day. I think he had 4 sacks. I believe he had 3 or 4 sacks, I believe. I know Will Anderson had one in again. Yeah, Danielle Hunter, 3.5 sacks everywhere. The pass rush was the deciding factor, making Lawrence uncomfortable late. that this is a brutal loss for Jacksonville in a year where it's so tight in the AFC in terms of the wild card. You have a chance to get some separation here, especially with your own division rival. Now the Chiefs are on your tail. You do hold the tiebreaker, but they're there. Houston's there. Baltimore's there. If you miss the playoffs by one game, if you miss the playoffs somehow by one game, it is because you failed. You had Houston in a position to put them away, and you didn't do it. You did not do it. You had them in a position. You were up 29-10. Basically, you're basically look, if they were at 3-6, they would have had to like win out, or they can only lose one game like so. Oh, it almost felt like it would have been over for Houston. No Stroud. And yet Houston just says, we won't quit. We won't die. And that's a testament to D'Amico Ryans. What's a backup quarterback? Because it could easily say backup quarterback, offense can't do anything. This game's. Oh, they said no. We're not going to let go of the rope. We're not going to quit. And Houston finds a way. Late in the game, Will Anderson, the strip sack, I believe Givens picks it up as a touchdown. It didn't matter if it wasn't because it was 000, but they counted it as a touchdown. It's over. Offensively, I thought Mills made a lot of good decisions. Again, people forget Davis Mills was a starting cornerback in this league. And when you have those guys as backups, look, Mills was able to get hot. And he said they were able to run the ball a little bit as well with Woody Marks. And he also said, you know what? I have Nico Collins. Let me throw him the ball. And Nico got the ball. 7 catches for 136. He said, throw me the ball. And it's huge. In Houston now with Tennessee on deck next week, that they have a chance. They'll get Stroud back, I believe. Tennessee coming off a bye, they have a chance to go to 5-5 and save the season. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The late window was terrible. Detroit beat Washington. I mean, what do you want me to say here? Dan Campbell took over as a play caller, and they dominated. They ran for 226 yards. It's a bounce back game. I mean, what do you want me to say here? They did what they were supposed to do. Like, what do you want me to say here? Or break it down. Detroit clobbered them. I mean, that's kind of what it was. I kind of want to mix these next two games together and what I'm going to do between Seattle, Arizona, and Rams, Niners. They both had dominant wins, and I want to mix that game together because next week is Seattle in Los Angeles, in LA at 4:05 on Fox. That's the game. Look, the late window, there are multiple games in that window. Outside of Kansas City and Denver, Seattle and Rams, we will be seated. We will be there. That's going to be an amazing game. They're playing like the two best teams in the NFC right now, bar alone the NFC West. Look, the Niners that was their first loss in division, but they're so beat up right now. It's gonna be hard. I think they'll make the playoffs still, but it's gonna be hard to win the division. But Seattle and Rams next week, that's going to be an amazing game. Amazing. We will be there for that. We will be watching. We will indeed be watching that game. And we will be on the edge of our seat because I think it will be a thriller. Seattle, they dominate Arizona. The Rams dominate San Francisco. Not much to say there. Sunday night, the Chargers dominate Pittsburgh 25-10. This Pittsburgh offense was awful. Let's just be honest about it. Awful. I mean, it was bad. I mean, the Chargers had decent rushing attack. Look, I thought the game plan. Look, if you shut down DK Metcalf, what are the Steelers' offense going to do? It's nothing. It's a disaster. Let's just be honest about it. Disaster offensively. Great win by the Chargers. Last night on Sunday night to go to 7-3. I thought Herbert played well. They have Jacksonville next on the road. They're trying to win the AFC West. No Slater, no problem. Now we have Philadelphia at Green Bay last night. This was a disaster. I'm saying the word disaster a lot, I know, but I'm not talking about the actual game. I'm talking about the play calling. The play callers for both teams, Patullo, LaFleur. I don't know what y'all just weren't good on first and second down. Let's just keep it real. Mainly LaFleur. You're dialing up shots on first and second down. You're putting yourself constantly behind the sticks. Also, to end the game, Philly's clock management. My God, goodness, excuse me. My goodness, Sirianni. That was bad. Punt the ball. And then on the previous drive, okay, they have to use 2 timeouts. Instead, we throw 2 incompletions. And we give Green Bay a chance. And Green Bay goes down 4th and 1, and we run it? With the game, we're running there? Out of shotgun? Ayo, brah. I don't know. Out of shotgun, running that. Look, I like Jacobs. And look, Jalen Phillips I thought he was really big in this game. He just blew it up. He just said, nah, this isn't happening tonight. He did a great job. And they just blew it up. But man, this offensively, both teams, it was bad. It looked bad. Defensively, I thought both defenses were great last night. I really did. But yeah, Philly plays Detroit next week on Sunday night. That's going to be a heck of a game. Detroit fans, you've been talking all that mess. Oh, if you didn't want to see us, okay. We gonna see. I'm gonna be watching. We gonna see this. Gonna be a great game there. And then obviously Green Bay's just gotta find a way to get back on track because they're on the road at the Giants, who just fired their coach. All right, everybody. This has been an episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and until the next time, see ya.